As the episode starts, we see a massive wolf in front of a number of humans. We then see a princess welcoming the summoned hero with the multiple mages. Then one of the mages respectfully appraises the student's power with the magic mirror artifact. The handsome boy gets the talent to be a holy sword user, pleasantly astonishing the mage. The dark purple and orange-haired girl gets appraised, and their talent is revealed to handle holy magic, wind magic, thunder and ice magic. Seeing this, the mage once again gets delighted. The princess asks three heroes to help save the kingdom of Erasure. Meanwhile, behind the three heroes, an average-looking guy in the office stood and wondered if the situation was similar to those other worlds someone he had read about. Then suddenly the mage looks at him and asks him if he is another hero. The mage then appraises him and says his name and age: Mukoda Tsuyoshi, 27 years old, and his skill: online grocery. Hearing this, the other three students mockingly laughed at him, and there isn't any convenience store in this world, and assumed his skill to be useless. This made him seem embarrassed, so he asked the mage if he has any other skill. However, the mage tells him he only has this one skill. In the meantime, the students cheerfully speak with the princess, and one of the mages tells the MC that since he was summoned, he must have an audience with the king. Later, the four heroes who had been summoned kneel before the king, who tells them that the Demon King has repeatedly attacked and razed their kingdom. The king demands the heroes for their help to keep the peace in his kingdom, and says that he is certain the Demon King knows how to get back to their world. The handsome boy says that he can't forgive the Demon King who made the people suffer, and both girls agree with him to decide to help their kingdom. However, seeing their appearance full of jewels and gems, MC thinks they are suspicious, so he gets up and respectfully tells them that he doesn't think he is a hero, and he may accidentally interfere with the hero's work. That's why he would like to live a simple life. Later on the streets, MC looks at the gold pouch and thinks he got 20 gold coins. MC then sees the people around him noticing his clothes, so he not to look suspicious, and MC buys a new set of clothes. Then, after eating food, MC rents a cheap room and lays down on the bed. He becomes glad to decide not to become a hero. MC then recalls how the royals were so luxurious and suspicious, so he decided that he shouldn't stay in this kingdom for a long time. MC then sits up and opens the status window and gets amazed at it. He then checks information and finds out that he is level 1 and has a skill called Appraisal Item Box, with which he doesn't have to worry about the amount of the luggage. MC then examines his unique skill, Online Grocery. He declares its name, but nothing out of the ordinary happens. However, then he touches the name of the status window. To his surprise, an online grocery store opens in front of him. There, MC decided to buy a water bottle since he often gets sick when he goes abroad. After that, he puts a snack in his car and presses the buy button, and an option of asking him to pay pops up. MC takes out real silver coins and succeeded in paying with them. Then suddenly a parcel appears beside MC containing the thing he brought from his status window. Seeing this, MC becomes extremely happy and thinks as long as I have money, I don't have no worry about food. He then thinks of leaving the kingdom quickly. On his way, MC meets a super merchant and asks if he is carrying his goods on an item box. But the merchant tells him the backpack is only luggage, and said that the item box skill is the skill that one of the 1,000 possesses. MC then asks about the appraisal skill, so the merchant tells him that the appraisal skill is the dream of every merchant. However, it is a skill only heroes summoned from another world possess. The merchant then asks him why he is going to Kills, so MC tells him he wants to cross the border to go to the neighboring country. The merchant whispers that he had made a wise decision by going there because the kingdom of Erasure was the verge of destruction, and the border would be closed soon. Later, after arriving in town, MC discovers that the stagecoach is suspended. That finds out is suspended because the kingdom doesn't want people to run away. So, seeing the situation, MC decided to go to the Adventure Guild, as it would not be easy to fight the monster with his meager strength. He meets the receptionist and tells her he's put the escort mission to the kingdom of Venom. The receptionist tells him it would take him a days to complete the mission and would cost him at least 7 gold coins. However, since the stagecoach has been suspended, these requests have increased significantly, so the receptionist advised him to put up at least 8 gold coins. And after a bit of thinking, MC agrees. Then a receptionist called the man called Warner and asked him if his team could escort MC to the border of the Kingdom of Venom. Warner then greets MC and introduced himself as C-rank adventurer. MC then asked if they could accept his request. He also offers to provide them with the food, while MC thinks he doesn't hate cooking and could use his skill to buy cheaper ingredients. Afterwards, they agreed to meet tomorrow morning. Later in the morning, Werner introduces his team: the swordman Vincent, the scout Rita, the mage Ramon, and the charming hero Frank. Afterward, they begin their journey toward the Kingdom of Venom. After traveling for a while, they take a break from their touring journey, so MC decided to cook the food. He uses his item box skills and takes out the cooking utensils and the stove, surprising the team members. Meanwhile, Rita arrives toward MC and gets excited after seeing the stove and thinks it's a magic stove. Nevertheless, MC doesn't reveal much to tell her he got the stove from an acquaintance. MC then recalls how while he was shopping he found a stove that worked with the magic and was similar to modern stoves. Thought the cost was 50 gold coins. That's why he brought an affordable portable stove from online grocery. MC then makes white sandwiches and soup and present them to his escort party. The party members all have delightful time eating the delicious food. According to Vincent, he has never eaten bread this soft before, so MC lies and tells them that the bread is from his hometown and he had put into his item box before he left from there. Werner hesitates to eat because the bread is precious. However, MC tells him not to worry, so they rely with Werner continuing eating. Then Rita said that they did the right thing by accepting the mission. Vincent also clears him down and said the first thought of one man escorting might be much. However, he is too glad right now. Later, while traveling, the scout Rita discovers something off by the tree, and suddenly 2 flying-type monsters come out of the trees. Seeing this, Werner and Vincent instantly rush toward the monster while unsheathing their swords and striking the monster, cutting them in half. Afterward, Franca uses her healing magic to heal Vincent's bruised hands. Meanwhile, their scout Rita returns from scouting the area. She tells Werner about the red boar near him. However, he is unfazed and tells her there is no to take a detour for the likes of the boar. He then asks Ramon to drive the boar out of the open with his magic. The massive boar instantly comes out of the forest carrying MC. Werner asks MC to hide in the back. Then, Werner and Vincent rush toward the boar, and with their skill and strategy, they finally kill the beast. Seeing their power, MC gets awestruck. After butchering the boar, Werner says that these skins and horns from the red boar can be sold at high price. However, the meat is regrettable, as they can only take that they eat. MC then interjects and offers to put the meat in his item box. Later, after his scouting journey, they decided to rest, and MC suggests they have an early dinner today, and tell them he'll let them eat something different this time. Later, however, then MC is cooking. Everyone gathers around him, making it difficult to him to take out modern ingredients he bought from the online grocery. So he lies that he can't focus and gets embarrassed if they keep looking at him. MC then begins making dinner and finally finished making his potafu. Then everyone got 1 bowl each. However, they instantly finished their bowls and asked for a second, which surprised MC. So Ramon explained that they normally eat jerky and hard bread. Franca continues the discussion and says that why eating something is warm is really fulfilling for them. Then Rita tells MC something amazing. Thanks to his meal, her body feels more sharp than usual, and Franca says her fatigue is gone, making MC think it sounds like an effect from the supplements. So, seeing their pleased expressions, MC decided to use appraisal on them. However, when he sees the effect of his food on them, he spews out of his food. He then appraises the bull in his hand and finds out that food given a limited time buff to person who eats, because it was made with otherworldly ingredients. Seeing this, MC thinks this is a bit dangerous and imagines himself working as a slave. So he decided no one could know about his secret. On their eventful journey, Vernon tells him that they will reach the kingdom of Venom in 2 or 3 more days. Once the border is crossed, it would only take half a day to get to the city. Afterward, the party arrived at the forest, as it was already night. They decided to camp there to date. Everyone takes care of their duties, including MC who cooks the red boar meat. To keep the ingredients from the online grocery store a secret, MC decided to be more proactive in using the material on this world. So, MC slices the meat in a stick style, puts in a sauce, and leaves in a rinsing. In the meantime, he cuts cabbage in a beautiful way, as it's essential for today's dinner. Afterwards, he fried the meat, making the team members swallow because of the delicious smell. Meanwhile, unknown to everyone, a strange creature is eyeing them from far away. Then, MC finally prepared the dinner and everyone began eating their food enthusiastically. Even Franca, who doesn't like red boar meat much, liked MC's fried meat dish. And they also liked the soup he made, as it refreshed the palate and they could also eat as much as they wanted. However, at that instant, everyone gets extremely shocked, to the point their spoons fell from their hands, and their face was like they saw a ghost. When, with a shaking voice, Vernon asks MC to look behind him. Then MC looks back and he becomes utterly shocked, and from fear he even forgets to breathe. This way the same wolf we saw in the beginning, Fenrir. Then Fenrir asks MC to let him eat his food, so with the fear, MC gives him his plate full of fried meat. However, Fenrir only takes a moment to finish the food and says it's not enough. So MC asks if he could wait a bit longer as he needs to make more. Hearing this, Fenrir looks deeply at him and tells him to make it quickly. So MC makes multiple fried meat dishes until the gluttonous wolf is finally satisfied. Then Fenrir gets impressed by MC that he could satisfy him with his little meat. Fenrir tells him something shocking again, which is form a familiar contract with him. MC first thinks of refusing him. However, he gets scared by Fenrir's death, stare and accepts the contract. Afterward, they form the contract and one ceremony is concluded. Fenrir lies down and tells MC that from now it's his duty to look after him. Hearing this, MC gets a bit confused, so Fenrir tells him he expects 3 regular meals a day. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. After the legendary monster gets a feel of just how delicious Mukoda's food is, it forms a pact with him to be his family. To do this, the two join heads together, sealing the contract. Shortly after they finish forming the family contract, the Fenrir asks to be named by Mukoda. This surprises him, or since he didn't have any ideas for a suitable name for the beast. After a slight moment of contemplation, he comes up with the awful names like Pochi and Hachi, all which Fenrir wastes no time on blotting out of his dislike for them. Mukoda's fellow travelers are still hiding behind a rock as they observe the situation. On the other hand, Mukoda continues to think of a name and eventually comes up with a Fel, extracting it from his existence as a Fenrir. Hearing this, the Fenrir is pleased and agrees to have Fel as his name from that moment. Continuing on their journey, the people are scared when they see Mukoda and his crew. This is because of the large Fenrir now traveling with them. Vernon noted this and talked to Mukoda about his worries. Apparently, he is worried since they are now approaching the border to the kingdom of Venom. Then, Mukoda seeks to know what exactly is making him worry. He is told that it would definitely be stopped on their arrival at the border. This is due to the fact that they are traveling with a Fenrir, who is known in his history for having the power to destroy a whole country. Werner believes that the kingdom of Venom will not let Mukoda in, since he is one of the who is tied by the family contract to the Fenrir. Hearing them say all of this, Mukoda is devastated. He is worried about the fact that he had just successfully led his previous kingdom to avoid such problem, but now finds himself in another problem on arrival into this world. Seeing his worries and Fel urges him not to worry and assures him that will destroy anyone who tries to mess with them. At this moment, their deepest fear comes to light. Fel reminds them it's time to eat. Upon being reminded, Fel shouts for some food from his interdimensional portal. Fortunately, he is able to find some meat that he had kept aside from earlier. However, it isn't enough to feed them all. Just then, Fel informed Mikoto about his intention to eat meat. This prompts Mikoto to inform him about the shortage of meat, urging him to catch meat for himself if he wants to eat. Without wasting much time, the now hungry Fel returned into the woods in search of a good source of meat. Watching him leave, Werner wonders why Mikoto didn't just use the meat he had. However, Mikoto reveals the intention to make Fel provide his own food. Hearing him say this, the other thrilled at the fact that he can now order a Fenrir. While they say this, he becomes uncomfortable and reveals that Fel had only done the family contract with him because he wanted food. Furthermore, he reveals that Fel is a glutton who loves to eat a lot. Shortly after, Fel arrives with a large bird demanding that he prepare the meat quickly. Looking closely, Werner identifies the bird is a rock bird, a B-rank monster. One of them informs the other that the rock bird's claw and beak cost a lot. Meanwhile, due to how large the monster is, Mikoto seeks their help in skinning it while they do this to gain the expensive claw and beak. Mikoto wishes they do so he can get the meat he needs. Then they're done, Mikoto is left with as much meat as he needs. He grills the meat on both sides, removes the excess oil and mixes it with the sauce. Then he's done, he hands them a plate each. After this moment, Fel comes demanding for his share, but Mikoto tells him to be patient since he had to do everyone else's portion before doing his. Shortly after, Mikoto feeds Fel with as much meat as his stomach can take, and his stomach definitely took most of the rock bird meat. When they're done, they continue on their journey and arrive at the border of the kingdom of Venom. Using a telescope, Mikoto sees a lot of soldiers outside. When he informed the rest, Vernon believes that it is so because of Fel. He, however, offers to go to them in order to explain the situation they are in. Furthermore, he urges them to wait behind while he goes. Watching him, Mikoto wonders if he is going to be okay. However, he is assured that Vernon would be able to sweet-talk them. A few moments later, Mikoto and his crew find themselves surrounded by armed soldiers. The captain's soldier seeks to know if Mikoto is really forming a formal contract with the Fenrir, and he replies positively. As much as the captain's shocked, he maintained his calm and openly uttered his disapproval of the Fenrir, which can destroy a country. Mikoto talks to Fel, informing him that the people are only worried that something would happen if they let him in. Asking him openly if he would rampage, in reply, Fel doesn't seem to have an issue with them, but assures them that he wouldn't do anything to them, as long as they do not mean any harm. Hearing him say this makes the captain believe first that Fenrir has now become Mikoto familiar. After a brief moment of contemplation, the captain agrees to let them in, but pleads with Mikoto to keep Fel in control. To further keep Fel in check, Mikoto promises him that there will be not food for him if he causes any problems. Hearing this, Fel reluctantly agrees to do so. Vernon, however, joined his voice with Mikoto in assuring the captain that Fel wouldn't cause any trouble, because especially since he didn't do anything bad on their way to the kingdom. Having been allowed to enter the kingdom, they are asked for their guild cards at the gates. Unfortunately, Mikoto knows nothing about this. It sounds so new to him, and since he has no guild card, he asked to pay 5 silver coins for him and 2 silver coins for his family. Meanwhile, when they finally gain entrance into the kingdom, they are all excited. Mikoto, on their other hand, is thankful for them for traveling with him. However, Vernon believes he wouldn't get busy from now on, since the stories of the Fenrir and his master would spread and get the ears of the marquis of the area, and even the king. The man thought of his bothered Makoto, but he's relieved after remembering that he doesn't plan to stay in the kingdom for too long. Instead, he tends to travel around the making profits using online grocery. To achieve his aim, Werner suggests that he join either the Adventurers Guild or the Merchant Guild. Hearing this, Makoto immediately believed that joining the Merchant Guild would be the best for him, since he sees himself running a food stand and selling the new products. His friends, however, wondered how he intends to skin the meat for fowl if he joined the Merchant Guild. Fortunately, he is told that the Adventure Guild can skin and purchase the remains of animals from him. With the two guys being so beneficial to him, Makoto is left troubled as to which one to join. Just then, he is informed that he joined both of them if he isn't sure. However, they convince him to decide. After they reach the town, just before entering the town, Makoto is asked to pay some coins, and this causes him to lament, mostly because he is now running out of coins. On the entering the town, there met the Marquis servant who informed Makoto that his master wants him to visit this residence. Upon receiving this information, Makoto doesn't seem interested but doesn't openly state it. When the servant insists, he states the mere man like him shouldn't be meeting with a horrible man. But the servant continues to convince him. When Fel sees how uncomfortable the situation is getting for Makoto, he steps in and pushes the servant into leaving him alone and running out of his master. Seeing him run away, Makoto felt it's too much, but Fel assured him that is only one way people like them can understand. Seeing what's just happening, Werner wonders it's okay to deny Marquis' innovation, but Fel shows that he's ready to make anything being thrown at them. Shortly after, Werner demands Makoto's signature. They get the point, therewith forced to part ways. After seeing, Makoto says goodbye to his traveling buddies, with a Fel left them. Makoto heads to the Merchant Guild. On the way there, the people are terrified to see a Fenrir, and either exhibit shock to hide in fear. Then Makoto gets to the Merchant Guild. They are thrilled to see the Fenrir behind him. He's met a beautiful lady who gives him a brief explanation of what the Merchant Guild is and future state that is divided into 5 levels. To be, the lady advises him to be and the iron rank and offers him a guild card to complete the membership. Before leaving, Makoto asks to know if his guild can purchase anything. In reply, he is assured that they do, and this prompts him to promise to bring his goods when the next he comes. Later in the day, Makoto leads Fel to a shed where he can sleep, since he isn't allowed to sleep in the inns. While Fel has no issue with sleeping there, he reminds Makoto about the fact that they have not had a lunch. When Makoto remembers this, he decided that they will have an early dinner instead. For dinner, he prepares a large chunk of meat for Fel. While cutting, his cravings for rice are high-tended and he decided to cook that for himself. While frying the meat, Fel hungry lurks around. When he's gone, he's used different sauces to spice up the meat in order to make it more tasty. As much as Fel loves all the sauces, he chooses to stick with the garlic flour sauce. Meanwhile, Makoto's rice is ready and he spices it up with some stick and sauce. Seeing how Makoto eats his food, Fel demands some after eating, and while tidying up, Makoto is thankful to online grocery. Later in the night, Makoto retires to his room and he's placed to sleep on the bed after a long time traveling. On the next day, Makoto heads once again to Merchant Guild. This time he goes there with some goods to be sold, handing it to the lady. When she sees it, she immediately runs into to meet her master. Shortly after, Makoto is led to meet him. Just then, the head of the Merchant Guild offers the player Makoto 14 gold coins for them. This surprises Makoto, who had bought them for just 5 copper coins. While he's still processing the shock, the man continues to increase his bid up until 17 gold coins. At this point, Makoto is forced to stop him, and the two reach an agreement. With the money Makoto had made from the sales, He realizes that he doesn't have to worry about money for a while. Before heading home, Mikoto remembers to head to Adventurers Guild. Getting there, he received a rather cold treatment compared to the which he received at the Merchant Guild. This he attributed to a fact that he had come without fail. He is given a form to fill and little to no information about that the guild entails. When he is asked to sort out for G rank missions and work his way up to A rank, which is the highest rank for adventure. Later that day, while looking at task for a G rank adventure, Phil comes to remind Mikoto of the fact that he is hungry, and the latter wasted no time in cooking for his family.